just a bit about setting this up now to make the masks. So what I have originally is just this top layer on top of this background, right? So what I did was I marked where the needle stopped, okay, and I created a mask. Now the question comes in, what do I have to reveal with the mask? All right, so the mask here is scaling, and right now it's showing nothing because I have the layer beneath it. So this is the layer below, okay, the pancreas and I'm sorry, I locked them, I didn't show them. There they are below. So before I created the mask, one thing I should probably tell you is I'm going to just delete this mask for a second so I don't have it in the way. So I don't, how do I know where to put the mask? So what I did was I took the opacity of my top layer there and turned it down, and then brought in the animation from the sequence of animation as a separate, I'm sorry, I got this thing long, as a separate file. So you can see here where it says eject marker. So there's only 40 frames for that. Did the same thing we did in the earlier tape. Brought the animation in and used that time remapping so that I left the first frame statically sitting there, and then came to the animation. Now what happened with that first frame, or the reason I wanted that to sit statically, is so I could use the mask, or I could decide where to put it. So I just took down the opacity of the top layer, the scope that we've seen, and then moved the animation around until it was close to the position of the needle. Left it there for a period of time and then let it play, and that said, okay, if I use that time mapping and maybe give myself from 19 seconds to 21, so 2 seconds is basically sitting there statically, and then the mask will reveal it. Okay, so before I made the mask, I made sure I had my lower layers lined up and registered. So I was anticipating this is, it's not a true one-to-one registration, but I wanted to be in the vicinity, and I actually imported this sequence that shows the needle at this scale into this movie so that I could position it relatively close, and then change the cameras, zoomed in with the camera, so that when I rendered this sequence I was same relative position. But my point is, I used the opacity and positioning those things so that I could be sure I was pretty much where I wanted to be before I created the mask, and then I created the mask.